We finished week 6. We're a quarter way through. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Emily. I tutor the young apprentices. This is my 3rd year tutoring in CC. Today I'm going to tell you about what we did for new grammar, and then at the end I'll share what we did for review. We did something kind of special for review this week since it was week 6. So first we started off with geography. I had the maps all set out. I do the black line map on the bottom, and then on top of that we have the colored map. So first we find all the locations on the colored map. I had the kids point with their pinkies today, so I said, get your strong pinkies out. All right, let's do some pinky jumping jacks. Let's see how strong they are, just to get them engaged in pointing, because that can get mundane for them. So we found each location and said it 3 times, and I did things like said, do a pinky jumping jack or other types of physical activities with your pinky on each of the locations as we said the names. So I used a little story that came in our tutor planner our director gave us, and used some markings on the map to go along with the story. So I'll show you what's on here. We have a fist, a spring, an I, an X, and then down here we drew a pocket, a little rock, an arc, which is just kind of like a half circle, and a saw. Wisconsin is mad at Michigan for waving hi to Ohio, so that's why we made Wisconsin look like a fist, and that also helps the kids remember Mad Madison. For Illinois Springfield, we drew a spring in there, spring for Springfield. So this guy right here, he looks like a chef with this hat, so we're calling him Chef Mimal, M-I-M-A-L, just as a way to remember all those states there. We drew an I to remember Iowa. That's the face of our chef. And then in Missouri, we drew an X because the chef really doesn't like his shirt. He doesn't think it looks attractive, so he is in misery. Missouri. So we wrote an X on there because he doesn't like his shirt. And then in the chef's shorts, in his pocket, he keeps a little rock, he keeps an arc, and a saw. So that can help you remember Little Rock, Arkansas. So that was the show me part, and for the tell me part, I just said like which state has the I in it, or which state and capital has the I in it. They would say the state and capital, and then they could erase it. Next we did math. I used these printables, which are really helpful for the kids to see the numbers in front of them. And then we used these skeleton hands to go along with our Cycle 3 human body memory work. I got these from Dollar Tree. They have them in the Halloween section. It came in a pack of 10. So we sang through the song and pointed to the numbers as we sang through the first time. And then the second time I could tell they were getting bored, so I had them scoop up the numbers. Then after that we got up, pushed our chairs in, and walked around the table. So the first time we walked around the table, we put our arms up in 11s. So we had our hands up for 1 and 1. And we just took really big steps around the table with our arms up. And then the second thing we did was we rowed our boats around the table, since it's to the tune of row, row, row your boat. And the kids got creative with it. They were rowing in different ways, and that was fun to see them just coming up with their own ideas. Then we sat back down and I let the kids take turns calling out one of the numbers on here, and then the rest of the kids had to locate it using their hand. Then for the 12s, we did the same thing. First we located by pointing and singing the song. Then we scooped up while we sang the song. Then we got up again. This time we skipped around the table, and then we all held hands. I had to join in so we could all fit around the table, but we held hands and walked in a circle. And if they start getting bored with this, I just switch up the direction in which we walk, and that seems to make it more interesting for them. So then we sat back down again, and again I had the kids take turns calling out a number, and then everyone else in the class had to point to it on the paper. For English, we reviewed our hand motions we did a few weeks ago for infinitive and so on. So for infinitive, we put our hands out in front of us and we ran in place. We really had the wiggles this week, so we did a little extra physical activity. So we did the hand motions plus the feet motions. So we put our hands out in front of us and ran in place when we said to do. Then for present, you point down and jump forward once, do, does. For past, you put a thumb over your shoulder and jump backwards once, that's did. For present participle, you use 2 fingers and jump forward twice, doing. And then for done, the past participle, you jump backwards twice. Then we sang this to the tune of do-a-diddy-diddy-dum diddy-do. First I had the kids repeat after me though, and I made the mistake of saying to do, and then they said to do. So I don't know if you want to do that in your class for fun, but my kids were having a blast with it, so I just ran with it. So here's how the song goes. To do, does, did, doing, done. To do, does, did, doing, done. For timeline, the first thing I did was I challenged the kids to not say Jesus the Messiah at the end of the song. I said, I know it's going to be really hard, but here's your challenge. If you choose to accept it, try not to say Jesus the Messiah at the end of the song. And if we can not say it the whole time, then at the end we can say it really big. So they enjoyed that. That made it fun, a little challenge. So the first thing that we did was we went over the hand motions. I'm just doing abbreviated hand motions. I'm learning them from the CC Connected website. They have them by week under the Learning Center section. And I'm just picking 1 or 2 motions per timeline card because I'm learning them for the first time, and most of the kids are learning them for the first time. So here's what we did for that. For Marian Empire, we just did the road. For Mesoamerica, we did a pyramid. For Rome Conquers Greece, we did a G with our fingers, like in American Sign Language, and we took it down over our nose, like the Grecian helmets. For Roman Dictator, we saluted. For Caesar Augustus, we made a C with our hands and took it from the shoulder down to our hip. For John the Baptist, we took our thumbs like this and baptized. We sang through the song a few times doing the hand motions. Then we got up and we stood up straight like Grecian soldiers, and we marched around the table. And as a reward, because we all met the challenge, at the end we said, Jesus the Messiah, and we said it really loud and raised our hands, and it was a lot of fun. For Latin, I used a song that I learned here on YouTube, so I'll just link that in the description for you. They can do a way better job than I can. For the hand motions for that, for word, we did this. For God, we did that. For beginning, we acted like we were starting a car with a key. For all, we did this. For nothing, you do this. I also made some cards that I'll link in the description. I'll put them on CC Connected. So every kid can get a card, and then they have to find their partner and match up the Latin and English words. And if you don't have enough kids, you can enlist your parents to participate, or you can just do it in 2 different rounds. For history, I had this up on the board, this image I printed off from CC Connected. It's under the Scribblers section for this week. This is Lewis and Clark and Sacagawea. We did hand motions to the song, and then I also made up a silly version of the sentence for the kids to correct me. So first the hand motions. For 1803, we did our number fingers. For purchase, we acted like we were buying something. For France, we did an F around like this, ASL for France. For exploration, we looked around. For pioneers, we galloped on our pretend horses. Lewis and Clark, we paddled our canoe. And for Davy Crockett, we tipped our hat. If you have time and you want to get some energy out, you can have the kids row around the table, or again, pretend like they're on waves going up and down around the table. So here's what I did for my silly story. What I do on the board is I erase the blanks that I'm going to say wrong, and then the kids have to tell me what I got wrong and how to correct it. Instead of Louisiana, I said Candyland. Instead of France, I said Frosty the Snowman. Instead of exploration, I said explosions. Instead of pioneers, I said pirates. Instead of Lewis and Clark, I said Bluey and Bingo. And instead of Davy Crockett, I said Davy Crock-Pot. This is always a hit in the class. The kids think it's really funny. My daughter asks me to do it every day when we review it at home as well. Some other ideas to go around the table to this song are you can have the kids act like they're explorers looking around with their binoculars, or they can gallop on their pretend horses. Last we did science. So I got this printable from the Scribblers section on CC Connected for this week. I had this up on the board. The first thing we did was we imagined we ate a chocolate chip, and as the chocolate chip went down through our digestive system, we named all the different parts. So the hand motions we did for that were mouth, esophagus, stomach. We put our hand on our stomach, and liver, we put our hand next to it on the right side. And then for small intestine, over our stomachs, over our abdomens, we did small intestine, large intestine. Then for the boys in the class, I had us imagine we were eating a spider. And so for this one, we did creepy crawly hand motions. So hand, mouth, esophagus, and then this on the stomach and this on the liver. And then for small intestine and large intestine. And you can sing this to the tune of My Bonnie Lies Over the Ocean. Some parts of the digestive system are mouth, esophagus, stomach, liver, small intestine, large intestine. These are some parts of the digestive system. For review this week, there were 3 classrooms on the bottom floor. We all teamed up to do a review together, and the director helped in the hallways. So what we did was we split the subjects between each of us. So in my class, I had timeline and geography, and then another class had Latin and English, and then the other class had history and science. And then the hallways were where we reviewed our skip counting, our math. So the age groups of the classrooms were Abecedarians and Young Apprentices. The other 2 classes were both Abecedarians. So we didn't have a whole bunch of room. So on the table, I had set up all the timeline cards for the last 6 weeks in order, and I just took a few out. For the Young Apprentices, I took maybe 2 or 3 cards per kid out, and then for the Abecedarians, I just took 1 out for each child, and that was almost too much, but the parents helped them and we sang through the song, so it was a good review and good for them to get to see all the cards in order. And then for geography in my class, I had the maps set out on the ground in a circle, and we used Skittles to locate just 5 different locations. I tried to pick one from each week, and so the kids put the Skittles on each location, and then I had them tell me which each state and capital was, and then they could eat the Skittle. And then in the hallways, we had kids skipping while they were counting the 5s, and then I had brought in some turtle shells, like they look like stepping stones kind of, for the kids to jump on while they were saying, I think they're 7s. And then for the other skip counting, we had the kids just jump with 2 feet. So how that worked was, as the kids transitioned from one room to the other room through the hallway, they did their skip counting. The tutors stayed in their own rooms, and the moms traveled with the kids. It was fun to do that and see all the kids from the other classes, and have the tutors see the kids from my class, and just remember how it was to tutor the Abecedarians. So I just wanted to tell you guys what we did so you could have maybe some ideas for your community. Our director really prompted us to do that, and we just came together and came up with our own ideas. So each of the tutors came up with what they wanted to do in their class to review with the different kids. I think one of the tutors did musical chairs, but I'm not sure what they did for the other subjects. We finished week 6. We're a quarter way through. We're gonna have break week this coming week, and then I'll be back after that with week 7. Thank you guys for being here. If you like these videos, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. It helps other people to see the videos, and subscribe if you wanna catch everything that comes out. I'll see you next time.